just naturally gets people excited, motivated, maybe a little bit scared of losing their spot.
Right.
And so if you're not using deadlines, you should be. And if you want to use a proven tool that actually works across devices, works in emails, works in your sales pages, works in ClickFunnels or lead pages or whatever you're using, I think the only option is Deadline Funnel, because I've used other stuff and they never really work consistently, and they don't actually, they're not really, they just don't talk well to each other between WordPress, between ClickFunnels, between email, between iPhone, between Wi-Fi network at home, Wi-Fi network at work, Wi-Fi network at Starbucks. This just works across everything.
So let's finish with your personal story of when Joseph was born, and just summarize how Deadline Funnel saved the day for you then.
Yeah, so it's kind of a crazy story. I know from my firstborn, Peter, that he was born 4 weeks early. So I wanted to run a special for when Joseph was born, but the goal was before he was born. That was the idea. His due date was December 30th. He was born 3 weeks early. He was born on December 12th. And just so happened that I was in the middle of one of my biggest sales of the year, my Lifetime Club, where our audience are health and wellness professionals. We sell done for you content. We had this big blitz, and it just so happened that my wife went into labor with the stomach flu. I mean, the stomach flu may have caused the labor. We don't actually know what happened, but it was like a crazy turn of events. Did not sleep that night. Yet here we are in the hospital. My wife is in labor with her second, and I'm running this epic sale at the same time. It was crazy. Now, I couldn't have done this without Deadline Funnel, and here's why. I knew, and my wife told me, if you're going to run a sale, everything's got to be scheduled in advance. And so I wrote all of my emails in advance, and I scheduled that, and that's great. But before Deadline Funnel, there wasn't really an easy way for me to figure out, okay, I've got the cart open. So how do I direct traffic, all those people going to the sorry it's not open page, to now it's open, now it's live? How do I flip that switch so that way that same link can redirect? I didn't really have a good way of doing this before without manually changing it, right? And then we also had an early bird list. So if you were on this early bird list, you got first crack to secure your spot. Then we had the cart close. Okay, so we had a cart close at the same time as all this happening. I'm in the hospital. How am I possibly going to change links and do all of this crazy stuff, let alone usually our deadlines end at 12 midnight Pacific. That's 3 a.m. Eastern time. I'm not going to be up at 3 a.m. Like, when I can sleep, I'm going to sleep. So Deadline Funnel did all of this for me. It flipped the switch so that way before cart is open to cart is open, it changed the link. It changed the pricing for early birds versus regular price, and then it turned off and expired the sale when it was supposed to expire. And this was all hands-free. I didn't have to touch anything. I didn't have to do anything. And that's the power of Deadline Funnel.
Well, Ronnie, I really appreciate you taking the time to share exactly how you're using Deadline Funnel, and especially that personal story. So thank you again for your time, and thanks so much for sharing that.
I'm so happy to be here. If you don't use deadlines in your business, use them. And if you're not using Deadline Funnel, that is the best way to use the scarcity of countdown timers and in your emails and on your sales pages. I love it. Highly recommend it.
Awesome. Thanks so much.